This is an E46 M3. This is a very dirty E46 M3. Hi, Ryan from CarsAddiction.com, and today we're going to go through diecast cars and what sizes there are available and what you should be collecting. So let's talk about sizes. We've got 1:43. Next size up is 1:18. And then we got the 1:1. So a rule of thumb before you start collecting is see where you're going to be putting them, because it really affects on what size you should be going for. Now there are various sizes, so if you have a large space to put them, you can go for a larger scale. If you have a smaller scale, you can go for the smaller scale. There are various factors on how you can sort of display them. As you can see, that we have a wide range of display methods, and that's rule number one. Rule number two, when you sort of sort how you're going to be displaying them, you can go on to size. So there are smaller sizes than this, but we'll start with 1/64, which is very common. Basically at 1/64 are the Hot Wheels scale of cars, and you can find any make you want. Let's just remove this poster. And you can find any make you want as 1/64. You could go in Japanese with Nissan, Toyota. You could go German with Porsche, Mercedes, Volkswagen. You could find anything from a Chiron to a simple Honda CRX. So 1/64 is very common and not so detailed though, but there's always the exceptions. Earlier in our videos we have actually reviewed these in 064, which is 1/64, and they're very detailed, but they're expensive as well. After 1/64 there is the not so common 1:36. I really don't recommend going with this scale because you'll be very limited on what cars you can collect. Up next we have the 1:43. Now they are going to be more detailed than the 1:64, that's for sure, and you can find a lot of cars. As you can see, 1:43 is actually my go-to size for collection, and as you can see, there's a whole range of cars which you can go for, and makes as well. So we have some Minichamps, Ebro, with 43, Ignition, and so forth. Kayasho. They're very common and very detailed. After 1:43 we have 1:24, which can be found by manufacturers like Burago, Maestro. This is a Hot Works. It's not so common. I like them because they are very customizable, but 1:24 is a nice scale as well. It's the bit in between 1:43 and 1:18. But there's not so many options to go with manufacturers that provide quality models for this kind of size. And we'll go the most common one, which you can find everywhere, is 1:18. The options are endless who you can buy these from. Again, Maestro, Burago, Minichamps, Kayasho, Otto, and so forth. And the details on these cars are amazing. And obviously the size that you see in each every one replicates how many times you have to make it real size car. So let's go to the 1:18. If we multiply this by 18, that will enlarge it to the 1:1 scale of the car. So what you see over there. So that is 1:1. So if we miniaturize that for 18 times, we'll get that, and so forth. Number 3 is where you should buy your cars from. So you know that there's Hot Wheels. They have the main lines, which are not going to be so detailed, but they're very inexpensive to buy, about €3 each. And like I said, there's the Inno 64, same size and everything, but more detailed, but they're like €25 each. So there's a very big gap. And I'm gonna jump through 1:64. I'm gonna jump into 1:43. Now we have many of those actually. As you can see, we keep all the boxes, which is another tip you should do when collecting. Always keep the boxes. Our main go-to manufacturer for 1:43 is Minichamps. I quite like them because they have limited number on each and every car. And some of them are very, very special, like this Mercedes SLS AMG. Only 500 produced. Now, there are other manufacturers which give awesome detail, like this one. And there's the ignition, which are super expensive. I believe that's over 100 euros. So we talked about storage location, cabinet, wall, another cabinet layout. We talked about size, which one you should go for. So ideally always keep the same size. They look very neat, as you can see. 3 manufacturers, so you can keep the quality consistent. Looks nice having the same cars at the same sort of scale all through around. And yeah, that's it. And just try to keep a budget or location and not your collection go out of hand. Like you can see, my collection is fully stocked. There's nowhere to go around. And yeah, we're full base, so most likely we'll start selling some stuff to get in new stuff. There are some Hot Wheels locations left over, so that's nice, but most likely we're fully stocked. There's a lot of manufacturers you can go for. I'll mention the majority of ones in the description below. But basically there's no good or wrong, just see what is available to your budget and to your liking or standard. Not everyone has the same standard, so for some people this is nice enough, but then there's other people who would want sort of more detail and whatnot, and opening features like the bonnet or something like that. Just look how cool they're displayed. Now, I can tell you from experience, this is nice to have as a collection and much cheaper than the real thing. So no wonder it is addictive. We like to keep everything boxed and everything, so that keeps the value. And yeah, if you like how I lit this cabinet, I'll be showing this next week. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell button below. In the meantime, take care. Now, if you click the top, then because of the dog, here he is. His name is Archie.